What is your name and what are you going to talk about today?
Hello, my name is Aruni Samarakon. I'm going to talk today, it's feminism.
Could you please give us a Feminism 101?
UK has a long history of feminism. If you look at Mary Wollstonecraft, who's from very close to Hull, and she's a feminist. She's the first wave feminist. Men and women, we are both equally born. However, when it's come to the society, there is a culture which is constructed by men. In that construction, women always been the second sex. So why women who are born equally with men treated as second sex? So where is women? What is women? These things we discussed theoretically in feminism, and we try to apply it in our everyday life.
Would you please give us a brief description of what being a feminist means to you personally?
I'm so proud to be a feminist. Not because I'm just being born as a woman, because this ideology I am standing for. It's not easy. Many people define feminism as a synonym for man-hater. No, women never hate men. We need men as well. If you read literature like Sheila Rowbotham, and she said that feminism is new man and new woman. So we need new man. Unfortunately, we can find new woman, but we can't find new man. So being a feminist too in my life, I was able and I'm still able to stand for my voice, to recognize my voice, to tell the world this is what I'm doing in my academia, in my research, and this is what I am.
How did being a feminist affect you growing up?
I'm from Sri Lanka. It's in global south, and it was a colony. Still, we have a British Victorian stereotypes remaining in my country. Of course, relatively, the women in Sri Lanka, we have freedom. We are the first Asian blacks who got the voting power. The history is very interesting. However, when it's come to the academic and research, or if we come to the politics, still women have poor representation. Do you know the world's first female prime minister? She's from Sri Lanka. I'm pretty proud of in that history though. In my everyday life, I'm being challenged by men because of my feminist voice. They want to see women not as a militant or outspoken or standing for their rights. They want to see obedient, stereotyped, pretty, and very, that the motherhood type. Women are not being a motherhood. Why should we play the motherhood role in our employment sector? We are there to do our job. So it was being challenged when I'm growing up, but my education leads me to do what I want to do as a feminist.
Have you felt you've been marginalized or stereotyped due to being a feminist?
It's not easy, as I said. So I'm setting an example for many women outside there. When I joined the university back home in Sri Lanka, I tried to start feminist course. I tried to teach female students and male students, undergraduates, to respect women, recognize their voice. Then I was told that it's a lesbian club. They stereotyped it. When it's come to politics, it means that students do not like to, carry those labels. Eventually, they drop out from the course. And it affected me. And I was scared to being a feminist for some time. Then I learned that no, if you look at the history here in UK, the suffragette, if women stay at home without demanding, without going outside asking their rights, you can never have a right, women's voting right. So likewise, I decided that these stereotypes, marginalization is going to be a part of my journey. I should learn how to manage it, mitigate it, and try to fight back. I have a very dearest friends. They're from a different culture, the international students. They think that outspoken women. Women has a very kind of a bad mouth because I speak up, and they think this is because I'm a feminist. It's kind of hurting my feeling as well, because that's me being a feminist. I speak up and I do not get myself bullied. I always ask that there should be equal representation. So these things happened in UK. So because of the peer pressures and things. But back home, I was told that I'm too much of women. And at the interview, when I went to go for the job interview, it's a it's a higher education institution. One of the male interviewers at the panel, he told me that I should learn how to be a woman. And I don't know how to be a woman because this is me. And I know I am a woman. I'm really proud of it. But how to be a woman is a big concept. It's a very stereotyped thing in global South, because it means that I should learn how to get married. I should be a married material, and I should able to reproduce. If I'm not, that's why she's doing it. She has nothing to occupy. That's why she put her energy into those things. Those things is meant the politics. One of my colleagues recently told me that, well, women rarely talks politics. I'm a political scientist. If I have a date, I talk politics with my date. I mean, if he finds it interesting, we'll pursue. Likewise, what I'm telling here that they expect women to talk fashions. If I'm not interested in fashion, I mean, there are women who are interested in fashion, as I said, but then they say that I'm a nerd, feminist nerd. So those peer pressures and name calling and stereotyping, those are the challenges. Because of those challenges, I had to work extra hard to overcome, because those things hurt my feelings, and I don't have time to get it hurt because I have to finish my PhD. And they were worried about my age. They think that, I mean, in my personal life, I take some decisions about my marriage. Then they think that that's a feminist way. That's what happened to women who talks feminism. They think that they are not married material. They can't have a family life. So I put my signature of my email is that feminism is not a synonym for man hater. So one of my colleagues who live in outside UK, he sent me a message that you have to remove that signature because those things are kind of personal opinion. Then I said, it's not personal, it's about feminism. If I keep my voice low and if I speak softly, nobody listens. So I have to speak louder. If I speak louder, again, they call me that, oh, she got the loud tongue, or she's a baby, like crying all the time for her rights. So those stereotypes have to be abolished.
Have you been marginalized or stereotyped at the university, or have you felt quite accepted?
When I came to do my PhD, I know that relatively UK has a nice representation of women, and it has a history of women prime ministers. However, when I started doing my PhD research, I was told that feminism is quite outdated subject. When I say that, well, it's not outdated, it's about power. Some of the comments I received that it's not about power, it's about women. No, it's not about women, it's about power. So that is my argument. So I was struggling to defend that argument for some time. Gradually, University of Hull, they gave me the opportunity to recognize my knowledge as a feminist, to tell that feminism is about power. So University of Hull been helpful, as well as at the very beginning, it was quite challenging. I was struggling to come up to this level. I would like to share an experience. I was told to do a presentation as a part of my research journey. So the audience is full of PhD students. The talking point was feminism, a new politics. When I start talking about feminism and women's labor, unpaid women's labor, some of my colleagues who are peers and who are doing PhD, they said that women are willing to do the free labor. They're willing to reproduce. They're willing to do the household activities. These all are men. The men talks for women. So I was thinking, how should I address this issue? Because I don't want to hurt my friends, as well as I want to stand what I believe in. They said that the women's rights is cultural. It's not cultural, it's a universal. And I was surprised to hear it from a postgraduate community. Then I thought the University of Hull can do more to empower or raise awareness among PhD students what is feminism and how PhD students can be feminist even he is a man or woman, even it is not their part of the study.
How the people around you and the university can do better.
I noticed that every year there is, on March 8th, it's International Women's Day. So every year I'm looking at what are the activities going on. It's very limited. At least the University of Hull can do wider activities. At least once a month, the University of Hull can do a discussion, a drama, maybe, or maybe a competition, or they collect some point of essays and display on screens. This is feminism and feminist history, because feminism is not just a celebration on a particular day, it's our everyday life. And of course the law say that the women being protected and you can't touch her body without her consent. Those things are there. They are very strict about that, but it's not an entire feminism. Feminism is how to break down the taboos, how to break down the stereotypes. In my experience, still women have been asked to dress up like a woman. How about women who have a very the thunder speaking like? So are you recognized there, these women, the leadership? So the University of Hull can do awareness programs frequently and also promote feminist studies. I found a very few the promotion for feminist studies. There is a gender studies center, but gender and feminism are two different things. The gender is about equality. Feminism is not just equality, it's about power, as I said. So maybe feminist study center can be launched here, encourage young academics and the undergraduates to pursue their career in feminism. So likewise, the university can do a lot.
How do you feel the media represents feminism?
In general, the media representation is not very good, but again, not very bad nowadays. Because I see that sometimes we can see the pop feminists, the Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga, they take the women's power in different way, but it's not, again, they try to be objectified themselves, sexual objects and likewise, but still the media has been challenged by this. Again, media can do a way better than this. For example, if you look at some advertisements, or if you look at some the drama series, and I'm a big fan of Big Bang Theory, but when I continuously watching that, I realized that how stereotype it Penny's character, right? She's a kind of a doll thing. No, women are not just a doll. That way past. That's from Ibsen's era. We are living in 2022. But still we think that the women are just like dolls. I watch BBC. Now I see that the women presenters, they don't been stereotyped anymore like earlier. They've been very natural. Their male colleagues, they are not being threatened to them. Like the female presenters are able to present independently their point of views, which is aligned with the institution, of course, but still. However, if I read some media reports, still there are symbolic stereotypes there. So maybe those symbolic stereotypes, like, when you describe a woman's body or the incidents, particularly not pointing out the certain things about women's being a stereotype, those things can be changed.
Is there anything else you would like to say, or anything you would like anyone to know about feminism?
I wish the world is give much attention to women, because if you look at the economy, the majority workforce is women. They are not paid well. Their labor has not been recognized. But in politics, all men are in parliament, but women, they are just in factories. So these things should be changed. Feminism is not just about equality, it's about power, and it's about how to make new men and women.